The following recording is a group review of Resource 4.1 as found on page number 106 of our workbooks. It was conducted at al-Masjid al-Awwal on the 20th day of Jumada al-Ula, 1440. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. The name of the author? Abu Abdullah. Muhammad ibn Dawood al-Sinhaji, known as Ibn Aajurroomiyyah. What year did he die? 723. Barakallahu feekum. Now I've asked you as a group collectively to reach a consensus about the answers that you want to submit. And so we'll begin by reviewing that resource now. As'ilatu muraja'a. Questions for review. Min ad-dars al-rabi' regarding the fourth lesson. When I say ad-dars al-rabi' here, I mean lesson 4 in the workbook. The first question was al-ismu yu'rafu bi what? What is a noun? What is an ism known by? And there are 4 choices: al-raf, al-nasb, al-khafd, and al-jazm. And you went with the one that Ibn Aajurroomiyyah actually states, and that is al-khafd. And what's another word for al-khafd? Al-jar. So a word that is makhfood, according to some scholars of the language, is also called majroor with other scholars. Tayyib. So then a noun is known by al-khafd. And the meaning by a noun being known by al-khafd is that no verb is makhfood, majroor. There's no such thing as a fi'lun majroor. It doesn't exist. So when you see that something comes in the majroor case or the makhfood case, the details of which you should not know at this stage if you are a pure beginner, and it's okay, but just know that as you study later the cases of marfu', mansub, majzoom, and makhfood or majroor, when you study these cases, the only word that can come in this case is a noun. It is an ism. And that, like I said in our class, that should not be entirely clear to you now. So if it's ambiguous to you and not really understood, that's how it should be at this stage. Don't worry about that. As-su'al al-thani, the second question, was mithalul ism al-makhfood, an example of a noun that is makhfood or majroor. I gave you 4 choices. A was qama zaydun, B was ra'aytu zaydan, C was marartu bi zaydin, and D was lam yajlis zaydun. And so you have chosen as a group C, marartu bi zaydin, and you are correct. Barakallahu feekum. Bi zaydin, the 2 kasras there show that it is makhfood. And again, that doesn't have to be entirely clear to you, but as a group you've managed to know that's what's intended by makhfood, and that's a good effort. Barakallahu feekum. Then thirdly, as-su'al al-thalithu, مثال الاسم المعرف بالألف واللام, an example of a noun that has the definite clause alif lam, al something. And notice that all the examples are full, complete sentences, right? The answers were A, هذا مسجد. This is a masjid. We're looking for the noun, the ism that is known as an ism because it has alif lam in front of it, right? A was هذا مسجد. This is a masjid. B was al-Masjidu kabirun. And then C was qama zaydun. And then D was it tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. And then you have chosen the answer B, al-Masjidu kabir, the only answer that has a noun with al-Masjidu. And so you know the word al-Masjid, even if you've never heard of what it is. You know that alif lam masjid, that makes it a noun. That's a sign of it being a noun. I mentioned to you previously as well that alif lam being in the beginning of the word is not absolutely tight that it's always a noun. There are some verbs that begin with alif lam, and as a beginner you wouldn't know that that's the alif lam part of a verb. But in general, the vast majority, not absolutely all, but the vast majority of words that have alif lam in the beginning are going to be nouns. So just so you know from now, don't take that rule as absolute. Then the 4th question that you were asked was at-tanweenu min alamat al-ism. The tanween is a sign of an ism having tanween on the word, that means it must be a noun. Mithaluhu, the example of that would be, and you were given 4 choices. A, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. B, Allahu Samad. C, Lam Yalid. And D, Walam Yulad. You're given here part of Surah Al-Ikhlas. We're looking for tanween. Did we find tanween anywhere? You guys have circled A. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Where's the tanween? Ahadun, in that word, ahadun. That tanween means it must be a noun. And I said about this, like the previous rule, is it absolutely a rule? Does it have its exceptions? A rare exception only in writing, in the mushaf, only in the written mushaf. Otherwise, tanween is 99.9%. The proof that, or a proof that the word that has the tanween on it is a noun. That's the principle we're building on there. And then the 5th question was amthilatu huruf al-khafd, examples of huruf al-khafd. You can call them prepositions or harfu jar. Another word for huruf al-khafd is huruf al-jar. Huruf is the plural of harf, right? And harf is the other kind of speech that's not a noun and it's not a fi'l. It's not an ism and it's not a fi'l. Everything else is a harf. So the harf of khafd, the harf that makes something makhfud, give us examples of it. You were given 4 options. A, ana wa anta wa huwa wa hiya. I and you and he and she. These are, what are these called? Anyone know? They're called pronouns. Yeah, dhama'ir. In Arabic, dhama'ir. B, min wa ila. This is a bit tricky because it begins with some huruf al-khafd. Min is a harfu khafd. Ila, harfu khafd. Wa aina, where? Not a harfu khafd. And wa kayfa, question how. And wa qad, and the word qad, that comes up later if you're reading ahead in Aajurroomiyyah as a sign of a fi'l, right? So there's a mixture of some words here that are not from the text of al-Ajrumiyyah, and you identify that, and you didn't choose that. C, an wa an wa tanween. Yeah, an wa an wa tanween. 3 more words that are not huruf al-khafd. And then D, the list of huruf al-khafd that are actually directly taken from the text, the ones that you have chosen as the correct answer. Ila, wa ala, wa an, wa rubba. Those 4 are actually from the huruf al-khafd mentioned by Ibn Aajurroom. Barakallahu fikum. Then the 6th question was a table that needed completed. اذكر حروف الخفض التي ذكرها ابن آجرروم في أول المقدمة ومثل لكل واحد. Mention the huruf al-khafd, those words that have been mentioned by Ibn Aajurroom in the first part of his muqaddimah, when he said that the ism is known by huruf al-khafd wahiya. The noun can be known by harf khafd coming before it, harfu jar coming before it. Meaning if you have any of these words in any text that's correct Arabic, the next word after it must be an ism. That's a sign of it being an ism, is that it comes after a harfu khafd or a harfu jar. And so a table is given to you with spaces for 12 huruf al-khafd and examples for each one. And sometimes the harf khafd is given to you and you're asked to give an example, and sometimes an example is given to you and you're asked to extract from it the harfu khafd. So the first one doesn't require any work from you. It's min, and the verse is given to you, min al-jinnati wan-nas. Min is a harfu khafd, and min al-jinnati wan-nas. Let's take a moment and look at the example. Min al-jinnah. The word al-jinnah, is it an ism or a harf or a fi'l? It's an ism. And how do you know? Alif lam. More importantly here, and that's correct, the alif lam tells you that it is a noun. What about the min before it, as you've said? That's the one we're looking for here. It comes after the word min, so we know it's a noun. Is there another sign? It's also makhfud. Anything that comes after a harf jar is going to be makhfud by default. That's the point of a harf jar or harf khafd coming. It's going to be majroor or makhfud. Either way, same word, same meaning. Yeah. So min al-jinnati, it is makhfud. What about the word wan-nas? You know what that is? Noun, verb. It's an ism. Yeah. And what do you know of the signs of ism on this word wan-nas? Alif lam, you have an alif lam there. And you also have وَالنَّاسِ, it's makhfud. Barakallahu fikum. That was already given to you. We're just discussing that as an example. The second one was also given to you. Ila. Harf ila. Ila. ذهب زيد إلى المسجد. Then a regular sentence was given to you as an example for this is what you're looking for. Now, the reason the two examples were given to you that way was to show you can use an ayat from the Quran, or you can use some regular speech with Zayd and Amr. Either one could provide an example for the min and the ila and the huruf al-khafd. طيب? So then, ذهب زيد إلى المسجد. Give me a noun from that construction that has a harf jar before it. A harf khafd. Al-Masjid, it has before it the word ila. Ila is a harf khafd. Whatever comes after it must be a noun. So then the word al-Masjid is an ism. What else proves that al-Masjid is an ism? Is there tanween? There's what? The opposite. The thing that can't exist with a tanween. The alif lam. They're sort of opposites. If you have tanween, you can't have alif lam. If you have alif lam, you can't have tanween. One or the other on a noun. So then al-Masjid is a noun. We know it's an ism by way of ila being before it, and by the alif lam, and by the case of it being makhfud. We've got three signs of the word al-Masjid being an ism. Is there another ism in the sentence? ذهب زيد إلى المسجد. Zaydun is an ism, and how do you know that? The tanween, ذهب زيدun. You have tanween on the dal of Zayd, so then you know also, while that's not the intended example, but Zayd is also an ism because of the tanween, barakallahu fikum. Then the third example is الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. A verse from what surah? Al-Ma'un. Then where is the harf al-khafd in it? You guys said an salatihim. So then the word salatihim, ism, fi'l, or harf? It's an ism. Why do you know it's an ism? Because it comes after the word an. Any word that's coming after an must be an ism. The next example given to you was the harf al-khafd ala, and then you were asked to give an example of ala. You as a group, you have said ala abdihi. Is that right? Ala abdihi. Tayyib. That is a fragment, part of a sentence. Ala abdihi. Yeah? I would prefer that you give examples in complete sentences. I always, as a language teacher, whatever language I'm teaching, I like that examples be complete speech. That's a personal preference I have. I think it's better for the concept of every speech you hear and everything you write is actually a complete idea. That's just a personal feeling of mine. However, ala abdihi, we have a jar and a majroor, a khafid and a makhfud. We have a harfu khafd ala, and then abdihi. We have a noun after it. So then the word abdihi, you know it is a harf, fi'l, ism. It's an ism. How do you know it's an ism? Because it comes after the word ala. Anytime you have harfu khafd ala, the word after it must be a noun. It must be an ism. Ahsantum. Very well done. Then you're given the harfu khafd, the preposition, if you will, fi. You're given fi and asked to make an example. You collectively as a group said, fi suduri nasi. Fi suduri an-nas. Meaning, alladhi yuwaswizu fi suduri an-nas. Part of the ayah. Okay, so then what word can we know for sure is an ism here? The word sudur, right? Because the word sudur comes immediately after the word fi. Fi is a harful khafd from that list that we've learned. Therefore, the word sudur, even if we don't know what it means, we know that it's an ism. And sudur is the plural of sadr, chest, and it means chests. And it has a reference to the hearts of the people. Then you're not given the harful khafd on the next one, you're given a hadith. Rubba muballaghin aw'a min sami'in. You're given that, and you're asked to find a harf khafd, and you found the word rubba. And that's one of the huruf al-khafd offered by Ibn Aajurroomiyyah. Rubba means perhaps, or it may be the case. Rubba muballaghin. The one that receives the information, he's muballag. Someone told him something. Oh, amin sami'. Maybe he'll be more understanding of what he hears than the person who originally heard it and passed it on to him. It's an encouragement for us to memorize and pass on, even if we fail to understand the meaning of the text. It's from our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The point is, we have the word rubba, and then we have the word after it, muballigh. Rubba is a harfu khafd, and therefore the word muballigh, whatever its meaning is, it must be an ism. It must be a noun. That's the point. That's our drill that we're trying to fulfill here. Then you're given the word al-ba'u, the full name of that ba, the letter ba. And you're asked to give an example of that shows it comes with a noun. And you said, Bismillahi. So it's the ba with the word ism after it. So then you know the word ism is? It must be an ism. Wow. Ism must be an ism. No. The word name must be a noun. The word ism for name, it must be an ism grammatically, which means a noun. Yeah? Just like harf. The word harf in the language can mean more than one thing. The harf can be what? A letter like alif, ba, ta, tha, the alphabetical letters. Or it can be like a preposition, one of the words that's not an ism or a fi'l. And someone says, why can't they just pick one? Well, we have the word letter in English too. It's also, what do they call that? Homophone or homo whatever? Homosexual? I don't know. What do you call that when a word has more than one meaning? It has synonyms, yeah, but the word itself has a name. Homonyms. Yeah, I think homonym. I think that's the word. A word that has multiple meanings. So the word letter, for example, when you write to someone, dear so-and-so, I haven't written to you in a while, yours truly. What's that paper called? It's called a letter. And A, B, and C, these are letters. So the same thing, you have words that mean more than one thing. So the word harf in Arabic, it means sometimes harful hija, an alphabetical letter, and sometimes it means a word in a sentence that is like a preposition, fi wa ala and all of that. That's a harfu khafd. So we have Bismillah or harfu jar, as you said, both are the same. Bismillah, in the name of Allah. So this ba that comes here is a harf jar, harf khafd, and you know that the name ism must be an ism. Then you are given two blanks here. No harf is given to you and no example is given to you. The requirement would be then to look at all 12 of them and make sure that you put here the one that is not given to you amongst these 11 that you are given, either by the harf itself or the example. So you have figured out that it must be al-kaf, and it's in line with the order of Ibn Aajurroomiyyah as he introduces them in his text. Al-kaf, meaning the letter ka, kaf. That is a harfu khafd. And your example was ka'asfin ma'kul. And you brought that section from Surah Al-Fil. Ka'asfin ma'kul. So then let's say, I don't know what asf is. It's outside of my vocabulary. Do I know anything about asf? I know it's an ism. That's the point of what we're doing here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's a noun. And in general, like in English, nouns are persons, places, things, or ideas. A noun is that kind of speech. So I don't know what an asf is, but I know this asf is not a verb and it's not a harf, it is an ism. It's a noun. A lam, then you're asked for a lam to be given as an example of the usage of the lam. And you said, Alhamdu lillahi. And you have a lam in front of the name of Allah. Li plus Allah comes out as lillahi. So then you know the name of Allah Ta'ala is an ism. It's not a fi'l and it's not a harf, it is an ism. Barakallahu fikum. Then you are given wawul qasam as a language item, as a harful khafd, and you're also given the example, wattini was zaytun. I wanted to be clear with that this is the waw al-qasam, not a waw like a waw al-atf. So I wanted to give you the example clearly and make sure that was clear. Wattini, Allah swears by the teen. The point is here, waw comes in front of the word wattini. The word teen, I don't know what it is, but I know that it is an ism. It's not a fi'l and it's not a harf because it comes after waw al-qasam, the waw that is for swearing or taking an oath. And then I asked you for ba'ul qasam, the letter ba that is used for swearing, taking oaths. And you gave the example of billahi. You put a ba maksura bi in front of Allah's name. Therefore, in the name of Allah, someone swears, okay, Allah's name must be again an ism not a harfu jar, and not a fi'l because it comes after the ba, which is harful qasam. Now remember, the ba was already used in Bismillah, and that was not a harf qasam. That was a harfu jar or a harfu khafd in the name of Allah, having the meaning of in or through or by way of. And this ba has the meaning of I swear by. So it's different, but both are signs that whatever's coming next is an ism. While they differ in the meanings of the ba, each ba has a different meaning, the resulting ruling of whatever comes next is still an ism in both cases. The last thing you're asked to provide is, I give you an example, Tallahi laqad arsalna ila umamin min qablik. Tallahi, by Allah we have sent to nations before you. Tallahi here is an example of a harfu khafd before a noun. And where is it? You put ta al-qasam. It's the ta that comes before Allah's name. Tallahi, that's the last harfu khafd in that list that Ibn Ajurroomiyyah provides, and you have successfully completed the table, and I don't see a single error in the page. So then collectively as a group, you have scored 100. You have done a perfect job on the assignment given to you. And I am excited by the way you've approached the project and done it. And may Allah Ta'ala bless all of you. I hope that everyone was involved in some way or another, at least in the review of it and the approval of it. And inshallah, we'd like to do more projects like this, some individual projects and some group projects as we go forward in the course. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. وَصَلِّ اللَّهُمَّ وَسَلِّمْ وَبَارِكْ عَلَى نَبِيِّنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وفيكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.